Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I'm here today with a phone that I actually really like a lot, and it is the Samsung Galaxy S22. And there's one big problem with it that makes it to where this just can't be a daily driver for me. It might could be for you, but the problem is even though it's got all the most amazing, latest and greatest stuff you can get in an Android flagship smartphone, it only has a 3700 milliamp battery, and the battery life just isn't that great. And I talked about this before the phone ever even came out. I said the battery is not going to be that great, and for me, it's just not. If you're a power user, if you use your phone heavily, this just is not enough to get you through the day. Maybe if you're just a regular person who doesn't use their phone that much, just for some casual usage, it'll get you through the day, and it's going to be perfectly fine for you. But for me, it's problematic because it just doesn't last me all day long. And I love the form factor. I've actually gotten to a point where I don't like to use the massive phones anymore. And for the longest time, it was like, gotta get the biggest phone, gotta get the biggest phone, gotta get the biggest phone. Well, this last generation, I went with the iPhone 13 Pro instead of the Max. And then this one now, of course, I have the other ones that I got them to review. I like the phone size. This 6.1 inch AMOLED display is beautiful, 120 hertz refresh rate. It's got the same cameras as the S22. Of course, it doesn't have the big 108 megapixel one, the big fancy flagship camera of the Ultra, but this is a very formidable camera. It's a very good camera setup on it. You've got the new 10 megapixel telephoto they tossed in there, along with the ultra wide. It's fully decked out, and it's a very enjoyable experience. The 120 hertz refresh rate, it's nice, it's smooth, it's very enjoyable to use. And I think the biggest thing that I like here is the one-handed use and the normal size. You can use this perfectly with one hand. And I've even got a case on here, and I actually really like this one. This is a Caseology, I believe it's called the Nano Pop. This is my favorite new case. I had never heard of it before until I got my Xperia 1 Mark III. The guy I bought it from already had it and included it in there. So I liked it so much, I got it for the S22. Less than a $20 case. You can get it on Amazon. The link I've got down in the description if you want to pick one of those up. But it's a very, very, very good phone. And I like it a lot more than I expected to. There's just that drawback with the battery life, which is really unfortunate because I'm not the biggest fan of the S22 Plus. Yes, it's nice, but at the 6.6 inch screen, only having the 1080p, it doesn't have the 108 megapixel camera. I'm sorry, but at $1,000, the phone really should have those things. This one right here is a lot more palatable at $799, and you get all the same stuff that you get with the S22 Plus. So I don't know, folks. If you want to pick one up, it's going to be a really good phone. It's very enjoyable, but it just doesn't have the ability for me to go the distance. And I likened it very much to the Z Flip 3. The Z Flip 3 only has a 3300 milliamp battery, and we've had people complain out the wazoo about the battery life on that. And I think the thing is you don't see a lot in the tech world. A lot of the tech people, they want to get the Plus, they want to get the Ultra. They don't get the regular everyday S22. And the S22 is probably more in line with what most people want, because a lot of people like having the 6-inch screen, and they like having the one-handed ability, and they like that it's not gigantic, it's not massive. It is very perfectly balanced, and it's really enjoyable to carry around. It's a really solid phone. You get all the performance of the S22 Plus, the S22 Ultra. You can play your games, you can play anything out there and max it out. The 120 hertz refresh rate is just a treat. Samsung does one thing really well. They make really, really beautiful displays. This 2x AMOLED, HDR10, all that crazy stuff. It's really gorgeous and enjoyable to use. It's just handicapped by a 3700 milliamp battery. And yes, it's better than it would be on like an 865 Plus or maybe even a 888. The Snapdragon 8 Generation 1, the new 4nm processor, it is more power efficient. But the problem is here, it relies a lot on software to try and maximize the battery life. So still, even when you're sitting there, when you're playing a game, when you're using the screen a lot, it just ticks away on the battery life. And it's something that, yeah, it gets me basically until about the afternoon, and then I need to put it on a charger. And thankfully it recharges fast. I mean, these new S22s, they got the 45 watt charging. I don't actually have a 45 watt charger, I have a 30 watt. And I use that and it recharges it pretty darn quick. So there is that nice trade-off. Of course, it's got wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, IP68, decked out to the nines. And that's the thing. Samsung makes the most complete phones in the Android world. If you like the two flagships, you get the iPhone, and then you get the Samsung phones, the S series, the Galaxy series phones, and Samsung did a really good job. I like the design. I think it looks gorgeous. It's nice, it's thin, it's balanced. They shaved down the camera bump on here. They did a lot of really good things. It's not heavy, but when they go and they make something this thin and this light and this compact, and then they toss a 3700 milliamp battery in there, I mean, it's good that this one doesn't have Quad HD Plus because it would definitely eat up the battery more. So having 1080p, yes, you can do some things to kind of maximize your battery life. I'll make a video about it on how to get better battery life, just like I did with the S22 Ultra. Much more important here, but I'm really not a big fan of turning things off because, yeah, if you turn off 120 hertz, if you have adaptive brightness on, if you kill the background processes and apps, if you use it in optimized mode, if you XYZ, you can squeeze more stuff out of it, especially if you go into Bixby routines. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do, like turning off NFC when you're at home. You're probably not going to use NFC to make wireless contactless payments at home, so you can turn that off. You can also have it turn off Wi-Fi when you leave the house, so it's not trying to detect a Wi-Fi signal. I don't really think you need to turn off 5G. 5G has kind of gotten to the point now where it's pretty power efficient. It's much better than it was before when they first came out. Of course, there was a lot less 5G signal around, so it was having to hunt for a signal more. That burned up more battery. 5G is widely available now, especially the sub-6 5G, what we consider the 5G extended 5GE network. You get comparable to or slightly better than LTE speeds, or at least you're capable of them. Of course, we all have the screenshots where we go out and go, oh, I'm getting 3 megabytes download. 5G is so wonderful, right? Anyway, solid phone. If you're interested in picking one up, it's a gorgeous phone. It's beautiful. It runs great. It's the best you can get out there in the Android world as far as a smartphone comes, but the 3700 milliamp battery, it's just too small. And I haven't used one of the smaller S series phones in a long time. I decided to pick this one up so I could cover it for you guys. I'm going to make more videos about it. I'm going to make videos about the S22 Plus. I'll do some comparison stuff. I'm glad that I have it. It's a really nice phone. I like to use it, and that's the thing. I use my iPhone 13 Pro a lot, and this one feels better than that one does. It's just a joy and a pleasure to hold. And of course, I've mentioned this in other videos. I don't have the largest hands in the world. When I use my S22 Plus, it's fine without a case on it, but when I put a case on it, it kind of makes it a little bit more hefty. This is the magic size right here, the 6.1 inch. Even with like the Pixel 6 and the 6.4 inch, it is very bulky with a case on it. This one, you throw a case on there, a screen protector, it still feels solid. You've got great stereo speakers on here. You got the beautiful display. The cameras are great. You got the facial recognition. Whoop! I just dropped that sucker. Thankfully, I caught it live here on camera. Anyway, I'm not going to cut that blooper out. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. It's very unfortunate it doesn't have a bigger battery. If it at least had a 4000, maybe a 4200 milliamp, if they could have found a way to squeeze a little bit extra in there, it really would have gone the distance with this phone. And of course, you see that with the S22 Plus and the Ultra. They have much better battery life and bigger batteries. Of course, they do have bigger screens and all that jazz. But that's my verdict on this one. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. The battery I'm speaking of. It just needs a bigger battery. So that's all I've got. What do you think? What's your experience? Do you have one? Are you interested in getting one? Is this something that would dissuade you from picking up the phone? Because I'm sorry, there's just not enough juice there. Anyway, that's all I've got. Again, just to highlight it, if you're a casual, normal phone user, it'll probably get you through the day with no problems. For me, using it a lot, having the screen on all the time, and especially you'll find if you go out and you're using it for GPS, or if you do some intense gaming sessions on here, that battery just doesn't go quite as far as it needs to go. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to go in the comment section and we'll talk about it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.